Welcome back to RJ Academy. Today, we are analyzing Alphonse Daudet's short story, The Last Lesson, a staple of the Class 12 English syllabus. We meet our protagonist, a young boy named Franz, on a bright, warm morning. He is procrastinating his walk to school, terrified of a scolding because he hasn't studied the grammar rules for participles. But the stakes are higher than a simple missed lesson. In the open field behind the local sawmill, Prussian soldiers are actively drilling, a constant reminder of the war that has recently shifted the borders of his home. As Franz hurries past the town hall, he notices a crowd gathered in front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, this spot has delivered every piece of bad news, from lost battles to draft orders, leaving him to wonder, without stopping, what the matter could be now. When Franz finally arrives at school, he expects the usual chaotic bustle, opening desks and students chanting lessons. Instead, he finds a silence as quiet as a Sunday morning. Inside, the atmosphere is heavy. His teacher, M. Hamel, is dressed in his formal Sunday clothes, and the backbenches are filled with quiet village elders, including the former mayor and postmaster, all looking incredibly sad. The reason for the silence arrives like a thunderclap. M. Hamel announces that an order has come from Berlin. From now on, only German will be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. Look at this map of France from the 1870s. These dotted lines define the districts of Alsace and Lorraine, the specific territories that have just passed into Prussian hands. This is their final French lesson. A new master arrives tomorrow, and the language they have spoken their entire lives is being phased out. The sudden loss of their native tongue strips away the village's sense of normalcy, forcing both the children and the elderly to confront the harsh reality of their occupied status. Franz's attitude shifts instantly. The grammar and history books he recently viewed as a heavy nuisance suddenly feel like old friends he isn't ready to give up. When he is called to recite the participle rule, he gets mixed up on the first few words and stands there, heart beating, unable to look up. To his surprise, M. Hamel doesn't scold him. Instead, he uses the moment to address a larger failure. M. Hamel speaks to the collective guilt of Alsace, a region that habitually puts off learning until tomorrow. He notes how the occupying forces now have the right to mock them for claiming to be French while being unable to speak or write their own language. He points to the adults who prioritized mill work over school to earn extra money, and even admits his own faults, acknowledging the times he gave the children holidays just so he could go fishing. The tragedy in the room is the realization that the community willingly squandered its freedom to learn while it still had the chance. This leads to the most important thematic point for your exams. M. Hamel tells the class, "When a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison." This imposition is known as linguistic chauvinism. As shown here, it is the practice of an invading power aggressively erasing a native language to cement cultural control. As Franz listens to the pigeons cooing on the roof, he asks himself a profound question. Will they make them sing in German, even pigeons? That single question highlights the arrogance of an empire attempting to legislate the innate voice of a people. You can occupy a territory, but nature itself resists such forced overriding. Language serves as the essential vehicle of a community's history and its ultimate path toward liberation. During the writing lesson, a reverent silence takes over the room. The only sound is the scratching of pens as the students trace the words France, Alsace over and over. Mr. Hamel sits motionless, gazing at every object in the classroom. He seems to be trying to fix the image of the room where he has taught for 40 years permanently into his mind. The end arrives exactly at 12 as the church clock rings for the Angelus and the trumpet sound. The Prussian soldiers return from drill right under the windows. The military reality of the defeat has reached the classroom door. Mr. Hamel stands up, pale and choked with emotion. He tries to speak, but the words won't come. As the Prussian victory becomes an audible reality, the villagers are left with nothing but their memories to defend their identity. In a final act of silent defiance, Mr. Hamel takes a piece of chalk and writes as large as he can, Vive la France. He then leans his head against the wall and dismisses the class with a simple wave of his hand. Daudet uses this ending to illustrate the danger of taking time and freedom for granted until the moment they are snatched away. Detailed notes for this chapter are available in the video description. Protecting one's cultural identity requires active participation today rather than procrastination for tomorrow.